Okay, well, welcome. This is our studio tour. A lot of you guys are asking who we are, what we do. And today I'm going to show you where we work and where we make these YouTube videos. So let's start. First, let's start with all the gadgets we use in the desk. And I want to start with this light bar. I know it might be a little bit overrated for some people, but I also think it might be underrated. This one's actually pretty cheap. It's from a brand called Xiaomi. What I like about it is that you can plug it in through Type-C, which is pretty convenient. And you can plug it in straight to the computer, or you can use a power brick, whatever you want. I like the computer because that way it only turns on when I'm using the PC. Well, it's not a PC, it's a Mac Studio, but you know what I mean. It's also magnetic, which is pretty nice. And the most convenient part about this bad boy is not only that. Just give me a sec. There you go. The controller is actually wireless. It's right underneath the desk. That way when I'm sitting down editing, I have it right to my right, and I can change even the tone. It can be warm or it can be cold. Look. So pretty convenient, and I like it a lot. We also use it as ambient light when we're filming a couple of products. Works very well. So if you're starting as a YouTuber or starting to do reviews or film any type of thing, this is also a nice option. It's nice and diffused. The LEDs aren't exposed, so it could be a good option for you. Now, second thing we can see on this desk is our monitor. This is not the most recent monitor by Samsung. A lot of you might know what it is, a lot of you might not. But this is a super ultra wide QLED, and also called Odyssey by Samsung. It's quite a mouthful, but it's the first one. It's not the most recent one. They do have a new one. It has OLED technology on it. It's not QLED, but this one is not the recent one. It's been around here for about, I think, 4 years, maybe? Yeah, 4 years we've been working with it, maybe 5. And look at how thick it is. It's not light. I actually learned that the hard way. We broke a desk trying to clamp it to a monitor arm. The monitor arm wasn't actually the problem. The problem was that the board in the desk was too thin, and we ended up breaking it. So that's why we changed to this gray one. We used to have a black one. But this monitor is pretty cool. You can use it to work. A lot of people don't know this, especially content creators. It's pretty good if you calibrate the colors. It actually works pretty well when you're editing, once you calibrate the colors and do what you need for all your color correction stuff and all those things we do when we make videos. But I like it a lot. It also has a refresh rate up to 140 Hertz, if I'm not mistaken. But those 140 you can only get through DisplayPort. And since the Mac Studio only has native HDMI, so I'm good with 120 Hertz. That's what you get through HDMI ports only. So if you get one of the most recent versions, I think you get 240 Hertz, and you can do that through the new protocol of HDMI 2.1 or above. So mine will get the newest ones if you want these type of monitors for gaming. If not, maybe secondhand, maybe some kind of offer or some kind of promotion you can get on this monitor. It might be worth your while. Third thing we can see on this workstation slash setup. Well, we have a Mac Studio, and we actually have it maxed out at 64 gigs. Yep, 64 gigs of RAM, and it also has the biggest processor from the M1 line. We have the M1 Max. I don't think I'm going to change this computer in a long time. Anything we throw at it, it can do. It cuts through renders, it cuts through editing without any issues. We do high quality videos here. We don't film with a phone. We film with a camera. It's actually a cinema line camera from Sony. We film at S-Log 3, 10-bit color is our max with that camera. So does it pretty decent. We also film some things at 120 frames per second, only for slow-mo. We're not crazy, but it can handle it nonetheless. So pretty happy with this Mac Studio. Obviously it's made for working, but there are games for Mac. And also drop a comment below if you want to know what it's actually like to play on Mac with the limited games that are available, of course. We have played on it, and I think the answer might surprise you. We might make a full video of that if you want to. But like any other Mac on the market, well, at least most of them, I/O, pretty darn limited, right? We only have 2 USB-C type ports, and we have an SD reader, which is pretty awesome because not all the computers have that. Although 2 ports is not a lot. In the rear of the computer, we have more ports, but most of them are used for peripherals. We do have a wired keyboard. We have an adapter that requires a wireless transmitter for this mouse. We also have the monitor connected, we have our speakers connected, and we have a DAC. So if we want to add anything else like SSDs or get a little bit crazy testing the products we get here, it can become an issue. That's where this bad boy comes in. This Workflow Station by Kingston. And it's pretty awesome. It's actually one of my favorite gadgets on this desk. It's pretty simple. It's only made for working, but I like it a lot. And what this does is it actually has different modules where you can insert, for example, in this one, 2 SSD cards at the same time. So you put your 2 cards on this, slide it right in, and those 2 cards appear right away on your monitor, which is pretty convenient, and you can actually transfer 2 SD cards at the same time, and that saves us time, which is pretty valuable around here. You also have different adapters depending on what you do. This one is actually for micro SD cards, which we used to use, but we don't use anymore, so maybe we'll change this one further along the road. This one is also for USB Type-C. It has an extra port, and it has a USB Type-A port in case we want to connect anything. And we have another slot in case we want to buy another one and use it for something. Again, pretty convenient, and you can also use it for traveling, which is what I like about this. Let's say your laptop or whatever you're taking with you doesn't have an SD card reader. Well, grab this bad boy, take a USB Type-C cable, connect it to your PC, and now you have a dual SD card reader. Again, Workflow Space by Kingston. Also, anything you see on this video, you are going to find down in the description in case you want to purchase it. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just what we use here. Now, something we specialize here at Mr. MX Tech English, because that's this channel, is actually audio. It's our main focus. It's what we're experts at. And here we have a couple of monitor speakers, which are decent. Even though we're experts, we don't have that big of a budget, so we had to go a little bit cheap on these. I'll put the exact model of these down below in the description as well for you. But these are by a brand called Mackie. And they're pretty good. They have quite a few things that might be convenient for a lot of folks, especially if you don't have a lot of space on your desk and you don't have AIO ports as well. For example, you can turn them on and connect it straight to the computer, use them right away, no issues whatsoever. Or what we have in this scenario, connect them straight to the DAC, and the DAC we connect to the computer. So these are actually fed by this DAC, which is pretty cool for us. I rather that setup, and it gives us a little bit more quality and a little bit more immersion to monitor the audio we want for these videos. But there's 2 things you can have on these speakers that might avoid you having to buy something else. Like, for example, a 3.5 jack on the front. So if your computer doesn't have a port in the front or doesn't have one whatsoever, you can use one in the speakers. And it's a little bit like having a small amplifier, not a DAC per se, but if you pull the volume up, the volume of the headphones is going to go up, and you can also use the volume on your computer, giving them more juice. Again, it's not a DAC, but if you have power-hungry headphones, this might help you out a bit. Now, they also have something pretty cool and pretty convenient for all of us that also monitor audio from our cell phones or simply want to listen to music wirelessly. Bluetooth. Yeah. Press the Mackie button, a couple of seconds, and now you can connect any device to Bluetooth. Helps it out a lot when we're monitoring the audio for TikToks, Reels, or whatever we're doing on all the other social media networks we have. Check us out over there, by the way. We do have a TikTok in English, which is pretty cool. Now, this setup is actually a Pokemon themed setup. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what is all this right here? What do we have? Well, this is actually just a coaster made by my mom. Pretty cool. Love it. Psyduck, one of my favorite. Pretty nice, right? Well, the keyboard, on the other hand, is pretty special for me because it was very hard to get. This is by a brand called Razer. Yeah, you've heard Razer, right? Yeah, they made this special edition Pokemon keyboard, which unfortunately was only sold in China. So I had to import this bad boy, hoping it was original, it wasn't bootleg. And thanks to the seller who gave it to me, well, not gave it to me, sold it to me, it is original. And it even works with the Razer software. You can personalize it a little bit, but only the LEDs are going to be yellow. That's all you get. So if you want a yellow setup, this is pretty cool. Although, good luck, there aren't any more of these on the market. I got this during the pandemic and it was pretty much a pain in the you-know-what. Also, bought the same one, also from Razer, as well to go with the combo with this nice keyboard, right? So we got the Razer combo, keyboard, and also mouse. Gonna be honest with you, not ideal for editing, not the most comfortable. Pablo, who's my editor, works with me here every day, has gotten used to it, but we could definitely use another keyboard that's a little bit more pro. But you know what? We sacrifice a little bit of comfort for the aesthetics. I think you can tell we like Pokemon around here, and the Pikachu theme, well, is what we're actually going with. So pretty cool. And this Pokemon is only a decoration, but it's also the special edition Hammerheads by Razer. These were also not so easy to get, and they're also completely out of stock here. Razer Pokemon, and there was a lot of fake versions of these on Amazon, unfortunately. A lot of people got rooked. I spoke to Amazon straightly about that here in Mexico because they were selling them for a very, very cheap price, and the only way you could know those were fake was actually checking them out in the app. They wouldn't show up as Razer Hammerheads by Pikachu. They showed up as something else. So cheers to all those people, and sorry you got rooked. But now you know. See those around? They aren't available anymore. Now, there's another thing here that I like a lot. We already showed it to you guys. This DAC. I just wanted to tell you it's the Zen DAC by IFI. It's not the most recent one. It's actually been around for quite a while, but I don't plan on changing it. The quality on it is excellent. You get gain, you get extra bass, good volume range, 3.5, 4.4, and it's basically what we need. So I don't plan anytime soon on changing this bad boy. It's made completely from aluminum alloy, and it's great quality. So, gonna have it here for quite a bit more, at least until it dies. Now desk, if you're watching us from the US, you probably know this combo already. This is from IKEA. It's the combo, I don't remember the name of the board, but I think it's LGPTK. I think that's the acronym of the board they sell in IKEA. You also got the Alex drawers down here where we store all our stuff and all our gadgets right here. So nothing too special, but very comfortable. Got a lot of phones, got a lot of gadgets, and we also have another storage room on the back, but show you guys that another day because we got quite a little bit of a mess on that side. This is very organized, but we got a mess over there. Now, I want to show you something on the side. A small fridge. You can't have a setup in a studio without chilling beverages, right? We also have a podcast, so in case we have guests, at least we can offer them something. Completely honest with you guys. I'm not going to link this below because it's been around for a while and it's also dead. We were cleaning it and something happened to it. I don't know if it shorted out. But this small fridge by Hisense, well, doesn't work anymore. So if you have any suggestions of what we can change this fridge for, drop them down below in the comments. Up here, Echo Show 8, Alexa, you probably know what these are. It's pretty convenient. We do have a Ring doorbell, so in case we're working and we might have a lot of noise up here, or this room is pretty isolated, this will show us who's downstairs on the door ringing, so we can answer. Pretty practical, right? That's why we have it here. And this is by a brand called Divum. I like it a lot. It's a personalized clock, and as you can see, we have our 2 YouTube channels here. It tells us how many subscribers, live count, how many views, but you can also change these to TikTok and other options. The application is actually quite complex and gives you a lot of options. You can also personalize with pixel art and other things, but pretty cool. I actually love this thing. Pretty nice. Another thing I actually love about this studio and this setup is this bad boy right here. This is by a brand called Dyson, and it's actually an air purifier. I live in a city that has a lot of pollution. The air quality during the day changes a lot, and this actually measures it and does help us to clean the air. I have no way of actually proving it if it really works around the whole house or the whole studio, but we do feel a difference in the air when we have it on and when we have it off. So I like it a lot. Simply a very cool accessory by Dyson. In the application, you can see the air quality, you can see what particles are actually polluting your house, what you can do. It gives you tips. You can control if you want night mode. You can also control the intensity of it. You can program it to start or turn off automatically. So pretty cool. A very smart air purifier by Dyson. But let's put them over here, and I want to show you guys this part right here. This is my Pikachu collection. And the reason I have Pikachus, it's not because he's my favorite Pokemon. It's actually not. My favorite Pokemon is actually Mew. Pikachu, on the other side, has a lot of different art forms. depending on the season, depending on the supplier that creates all these figures, the art changes. For example, you got the main one, the chubby one. This is the very first Pikachu. And then you have other ones like these below. They're a lot more slim, a lot more detailed from more modern seasons. So I like all the art forms from Pikachu. That's the reason we have this right here. And this whole setup is actually Pikachu themed. And last but not least, we do have a gaming setup where we test both peripherals, headphones, and other things that are actually destined to gaming. We also test monitors. By the way, this is an OLED by LG, which has a crazy response rate of 0.3. Great for playing Warzone and other games. We can talk about it another day if you want. Just drop a comment below if you want to watch that. And that's about it. We do have a PC down here, but the reason we're not using it is because it's been having issues with the BIOS lately, and some of the components are actually a little bit outdated. So I want to change them. For example, the graphics card is a 1080. I would like to go from something at least Series 3, not 1080 anymore. It's too low, and it does cause some compatibility issues with some of the components. So eventually we're going to update that PC. Make sure you subscribe if you also want to watch that. Okay, well, this is our setup, our Pikachu workstation, and we do tech videos. So if you're new around here, consider subscribing. Maybe check out this video right over here, and I'll see you next week.